A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, and it's now time for Ramayan.
Ram 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 Ram.
So in the last part, I had spoken about how the four brothers, Lord Shri Ram, Lakshman, Bharat and Shatrugna, get their education from Guru Vashist and come back to the palace. In between, there is an important part where Vishwamitra comes. He is also a saint, a rishi. He comes to King Dashrath and he requests King Dashrath to give him Shri Ram and Lakshman, the two brothers, so that they can go and kill Tadka, Subahu and Marich. So basically, Vishwamitra was also a king once upon a time, but he leaves everything and he becomes a rishi. And becoming a rishi or a muni is not a joke. And back in those days, people were not sending their children to study to schools, convent schools, or private schools. Back then, the parents used to send their children to rishis or munis or learned ones, because they knew that if my child is going to get education from this knowledgeable, learned person, then my child will become an amazing human being, and not only will they fulfill their life's purpose, but my life's mission of creating or reproducing the best children for planet Earth will also be completed via that. So all the intelligent parents used to send their children to big munis and rishis like these. And if they would give an order to the king also, because Dashrath was one of the biggest king of his time, even the king cannot say no to a rishi muni, because if rishi munis used to get angry, they would give such horrible curses that nobody wanted to mess with them. They had so many powers and they knew if this person does not deserve something good, they would immediately give a curse and everything will be gone. So Vishwamitra was a very powerful muni, very powerful rishi, but he could not do certain things because he was doing a yajna, and that was a yajna for peace. So he came to King Dashrath and he said to Dashrath that I want your sons, both Ram and Lakshman, to help me kill this demoness Tadka and her two sons. The story of Tadka, or the chapter of Tadka, is so interesting because here we see how a person turns into a demon or a demoness. But we also get to learn that one must never ever be arrogant. All the powerful people who are very arrogant, they should not be arrogant, because somebody or the other will be more powerful than you. And if that person is a divine person, is a divine being, then nothing and no one can save you, because those divine people are blessed by God, source, masters. So first let me share with you how Tadka became a demoness. Initially she was not a demoness, and this was actually published in one of the papers and I had saved it. So I'll read it out from there and explain it to you in between. The king of celestials had to be purified once, and when this happened, owing to the collective efforts of many sages, Indra was pleased to bless the place where he was rid of his curse. He said it would be a beautiful place with natural resources in plenty. The people in the area enjoyed prosperity for many years, until the demoness Tadka appeared there, making their lives miserable. Vishwamitra narrated the story of Tadka to Ram and Lakshman, and he said there was once a yaksh named Suketu who had no children, and he was craving for children. So back in those days, whenever people wanted children, they would perform yajnas. They do tapas, and same thing was done by Suketu. And after Suketu's tapasya, Brahma was very pleased with him and he blessed him with a girl child. And he also said that this girl would be very powerful and she would have the strength of 1,000 elephants. Wow. And so with that, the name of the girl became Tadka. Tadka means like very powerful. Now when Tadka attained marriageable age, she was given in marriage to Sunda. And Sunda was killed by Agastya Rishi's curse. Now Tadka became very angry. She was enraged, and with her son Marich, she went to kill Agastya Muni. Rishis and Munis were very powerful back in those days, and they didn't even have to sit up or do something or fight. They would just curse a person, and that's the end of that person. So when Marich and Tadka go to kill Agastya, they also get cursed, and he said that from now onwards you will become a demoness, and you will become very ugly, and you'll also become a cannibal. He said to her that you would be so ugly, you would become so hideous that people would just get repulsed by you just by looking at you. From then on, Tadka became a ferocious demoness and began to destroy the beauty of the beautiful land that had once been prosperous because of the boon of Indra. After narrating the story of Tadka, then Vishwamitra asked Shri Ram to kill her. At first, Shri Ram was thinking that how can I kill a woman? Because the Shastras don't allow a man to kill the woman. Woman killing is forbidden. So then he asked Vishwamitra that should I really kill her? Because you have to listen to the Guru also. Whatever the Guru says, whatever the Master says, you have to do it. Now before I narrate to you that particular part, let me first share with you how this whole story develops, how this chapter develops. First and foremost, it's not easy for Vishwamitra to bring out Ram and Lakshman from the palace because Dasharath is extremely attached to his son, especially with Ram. He's very much attached. By now, he has forgotten about the curse of Shravan Kumar. If you remember, in the first part, I shared the story where Shravan Kumar had given him the curse that just the way my parents are getting separated today because of you, one day you will also die because of the pain you will have from the separation with your own son. So Dasharath definitely was very attached, and how you do one thing is how you do everything. Dasharath was also equally attached to his wife Kaikeyi. He had that thing of attachment. But Dasharath was a good man also, and in his past life he was a great person. He was Manu, and his wife Kaushalya was Shatrupa. In this life, after doing a lot of penance, he got Vishnu as his son. And Vishwamitra, being a very powerful sage, did not like the way Dasharath was acting. Dasharath was literally, falling unconscious. Then they had to tell him like, hey, what's wrong with you? And Dasharath was like, please don't take my son away. My Rama is so young. He's such a little boy right now. He's just a teenage boy. And he was in the Gurukul. He just came back. I was so happy looking at him. And now again you'll take him away. Again I will have to go through the pain of separation. I love my son so much. I cannot live without him. I just feel like, looking at him when he's sleeping also, when he's like, in front of me, I feel so happy. Just by his presence, just by his physical presence, I feel so happy. If you'll take my son away, I don't know when he's going to come back, how many years later. So please don't do this. So Vishwamitra said that you are a king. You are a father later on. Secondary duty is of a father or a husband or a brother. First duty of a king is to do his kingly duties, and as per the king, this Tadka has to die, this Tadka has to be killed, and I will need Ram and Lakshman to help me assist in her killing. So you have to give Ram to me and Lakshman to me. And Lakshman any which way never used to leave Ram alone. So initially Vishwamitra probably must have come for Ram only, but Lakshman was like, I'll go with my brother. And Dasharath also said that, okay, you go with your brother. At least two of you will be together, you'll take care of each other. Or not that I don't have faith in Vishwamitra, but still. On this, these two brothers go with Vishwamitra, and finally, in the morning, Ram and Lakshman, they reach to the coast of the river. Many different people have written the tale of Ramayana. The original tale was written by Valmiki, and then many have written. However, Tulsidas Ramayana also became very popular, and till date people read it. It's called Ramcharitmanas. So when finally Vishwamitra, Ram and Lakshman, they reach to the place where they are supposed to look for Tadka, the other Rishi Munis give them a boat. They cross the river with the boat, using the boat, and then they finally reach that forest. Now initially this forest was supposed to be a very beautiful forest. When Shri Ram and Lakshman look at the forest, it looked like a terrible forest. It had the vibration, very heavy dark vibration. So Lord Shri Ram says to Vishwamitra, Gurudev, why this forest is so horrible? The wild animals are so scared, the trees and plants are so scared. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. And in this particular chapter, we'll see that the animals in the forest, the animals were screaming in all directions. Lions, tigers, elephants, they were all horrified, all scared, because a cannibal was living in that forest, killing people, eating them up. Such a scary place to be in, such a dark place to be in. And usually we know that wild animals are very free. If you ever visit a forest which supposedly has wild animals, you'll know it's a very serene and calm place to be in. And if your own energy and vibration is nice, then animals will never trouble you. It was such a dark and dense forest that even sunlight could not dare to enter, penetrate the darkness and this heavy vibration of that particular forest. So then Vishwamitra explains to Lord Shri Ram that, hey Raghav, earlier this forest was actually a very beautiful place. There were two very prosperous states over here. And the name of the states were Karup and Malda. And the states had very big houses, residences, sufficient money, very good roads. The structure was very nice and all the trade and business used to happen. The traders from various states, they used to come here for business. But this demigod called Tadka destroyed this, and as I just told you that she was the wife of Sunda. And Sunda was also a demon, and that's why, you should not marry anyone just like that. If Tadka was not married to this demon, Sunda, then all of this would not have happened. People don't come over here, and there is so much fear and there's so much negativity, so much darkness. If anyone comes here by mistake also, Tadka does not leave that person. She will kill them and eat them up. She'll slaughter them. Generally, women are very soft. Women are so beautiful, vulnerable. That's why everyone wants to take care of them. So Tadka's father Suketu was also a yaksha, and he was very powerful. He also had Herculean power, and he pleased Lord Brahma with his penance, with his tapasya, and because of that tapasya, Tadka was born. And sometimes, you must have heard these stories that you should never ask for more power than it's needed. Because what is power used for? Power is used to scare other people and to make others feel that you're below them. Maybe that's what Suketu was thinking. He wanted a very powerful child and this child and that child, but Brahma fulfilled his wish, and that's how Tadka was born with the strength of 1,000 elephants. So after Valmiki narrated the story of Tadka, he asked Lord Shri Ram to kill Tadka, and Shri Ram questioned him like, should I do it or not? Like, how can I do it? So Vishwamitra always had this feeling that Ram would hesitate to kill this demoness. And then Vishwamitra said that for you, you are not like any other person. You are soon going to be the king. And for the king, it's always his duty that matters. Number one is duty, and next, anything else follows for him. And as per your duty as a king, the crown prince, because King Dasharath has sent to you as his volunteer right now. So you have to end this demoness's tyranny and torture. And then he says that for a king, it is important to uphold dharma and eliminate anyone who poses a threat to dharma. And there was no room for mercy just because the perpetrator of the atrocities on innocent people happens to be a woman. A woman can also be a torturer, right? So then Vishwamitra gives Shri Ram the examples of all the women who had been killed because of this attitude, because of this demonic nature. For example, Indra had to kill Manthara, who was the daughter of Virochana, and Lord Narayan had killed the wife of Bhrigu. Sage Bhrigu's wife was also like that. So when it is required, when you have to save the innocent being, then you have to kill that person, whether it's a man or a woman. Secondly, a woman is the mother. She's the Shakti, she's the nurturer. She's a Devi, she's a goddess. She has those energies. But does she have these energies? Look at Tadka. What do you see when you look at Tadka? She's arrogant, ferocious, she's a killer. She was any which way like that, and that's why she got cursed. People always attract curses in their life when they have similar energy pattern. And whether it was her father who was, too much into power, it was her being born in that family, whatever it was, she could have stopped it. She could have also said that, okay, I'm not going to do what my father is doing. That's why we are all given discernment. When we are born, even in the twin flame journey, this is what every star seed twin flame is taught, that even if you have curses in your template, in the generation, or when you are healing the ancestral curses, there are certain curses that you find out about. Even if you have that, your goal has to be to make the curse stop with you. And then when you think like that, when you say, okay, I'm not going to do what other people have been doing, when you refuse to follow the societal flaws, the norms which are incorrect, which are inappropriate, automatically God is pleased with that attitude. And then even the curse in the generation via the ancestors that's coming to your DNA, even that is removed. And the same curse turns into a boon. Because we are all here to neutralize karma. We are all here to come in a zero state, where there is no karma whatsoever. When Lord Shri Ram listens to all these stories and how these evil women were killed and how these demonesses are causing so much harm to the world, to innocent beings, he says, okay, fine, I will do the duty now. What is implied in Tadka's episode is that the Lord alone can eliminate our ignorance. We will have to seek His help to kill ignorance in us, and the light of lamp of knowledge has to be awakened. So with the Tadka story, we should also remember one thing, like Tadka is also kind of symbolic of saying that Tadka is ignorance. In her ignorance, in her madness, in her pursuit of madness, of power, of strength, she didn't even realize that she is going and attacking such a big sage. And that's how she created doom for herself and for her sons and for everyone. And she did not stop over there. She continued the cannibalism, she continued the killings, she continued torturing the innocent beings. This is where Vishwamitra says to him, so Ram, I command you to slaughter Tadka. Nobody else can kill her, only you. Only you can slaughter her. Do not think that she is a woman and I should not kill her. Tadka is a felony in form of woman, and to destroy a felony is not a sin. Leave all the hesitation and slaughter this woman. This is my order. And listening to this, Shri Ram says, okay, Gurudev, your permission is acceptable to me, and I will definitely kill her for the welfare of innocent people. Ram used to have this bow and arrow. So he would pull the string of the arrow, of the bow, and he would just leave it like that, and that would create a sound which is called tankar in Hindi. When she hears this loud sound of the pulling of the string, Tadka awakens and she's very angry. And this whole sound, echoes in the forest. And not only does it scare Tadka, but it also starts scaring all the wild animals who start running here and there. So this commotion makes Tadka very angry. And she's in full rage, and she wants to destroy anybody who did that. So she rushes towards them. And then she sees Ram, who's ready with the bow, ready with the arrow. And she's like, why this little boy is trying to kill me? Because he's still a teenager at that time. He's not like a fully grown man. So she's like, oh, I'll kill this boy. Tadka is angry because as it is, she's so power hungry and she feels that she can destroy this young man in seconds. And how dare he even think of taking away her kingdom from her by challenging her like this. So she comes to pounce on Shri Ram. And as soon as they see it, the Guru gives him this gesture, strike her right now. So as soon as Tadka is approaching Lord Shri Ram, he looks at her hideous face and he says that, look at how she is. Even her expressions are full of violence. Because she has been enjoying killing innocent living beings and she drinks their blood, look at her face. She looks so scary, so disgusting, so ugly. Now I will send her to hell. And she is all, with big teeth, big nails, sharp nails, and she's just approaching Lord Shri Ram. And then he strikes her with one single arrow. This arrow hits her with lightning fast speed. In that one arrow, blood started pouring out of her chest, and then Ram was not willing to give her any more chance. Ram was an excellent warrior. Ram and Lakshman, they were very well trained. And Ram was so powerful, so smart, that he just knew how to strike and where to strike. And then finally she fell on the ground. She's huge. This huge body falls on the ground. And as soon as Tadka dies, you see, when dark energy is gone, how everything lights up. The whole forest starts lighting up. The light, the sunlight, which was not even piercing through the darkness of that place, starts pouring into the jungle. All the plants and the flowers, everything looks so beautiful. When Tadka is killed, her two sons, Marich and Subahu, they also come to kill Lord Shri Ram, and they pour blood from the sky and they throw all the things. But Ram and Lakshman are very strong now because they've already realized that their divine astras, the weapons they have, how they work. So he used another astra called Manava on Marich, and as soon as this astra hit Marich, Marich goes flying. From there he reaches straight away to the ocean, which is so far. He goes and falls 100 yojanas into the sea. Ram did not kill him because these astras are also connected to our own consciousness and thought pattern. So for example, if a good person gets the astras will only do whatever is destined and whatever is written. So it was already predestined that Ram would be killing Subahu and he would be killing Tadka that time, and Marich would get injured and he would reach to the ocean. Later on, it is the same Marich who comes back as the golden deer and helps Ravan to kidnap Sita ji. Subahu was killed by Ram by using another astra called Agneya, and Marich obviously went flying. Another reason why it was very important for Lord Shri Ram and Lakshman to study under Vishwamitra or learn from Vishwamitra, because after this they do spend good amount of time with him, is because later on they would have to fight so many demons. They would have to fight against so many demons in times to come. So Vishwamitra in their life had a very important role because they learnt many other practices also from Vishwamitra, and one of those practices was Bala Ati Bala. It's a kind of vidya that they received from Vishwamitra which gave them extra power and an extra edge over others. So Dasharath asked this question, very wise question, why you want to take my sons only? Now Dasharath did not know what's happening in the future, but many sages and their words and their practices and their presence in the lives of people is also happening because they have a role to play. And definitely in the life of Ram and Lakshman, the important role had to be played by Vishwamitra of giving them all these astras, shastras and this type of knowledge that would later on help them to kill Ravan, who's actually the demon lord. Even in the present world, all of the demonic activities that happen, they happen under Ravan. Though Ravan is not alive, but his demonic agents are still alive and they are still doing whatever they want to do by creating fear and by creating trouble for common people, for innocent people. There are a lot of cannibals who are present in this planet even as we talk, and they need to go. And when they go, then only the planet becomes a prosperous place. And in the dark ages, these demonic creatures and agents are very much active. But as time changes, as now we are in the age of ascension, slowly and gradually all of their faces would be revealed to the common people, to the common public. People would know that these demons are actually the illusion creators, because they create energy and power by creating illusion, by fooling people to think that their path is the correct path, their lifestyle is the right lifestyle, and people follow them because people are like, okay, maybe this is how I will prosper and this is how I will grow in my career. If I stay up all night, if I drink alcohol, if I do all these multiple relationships, I will be a happy person. So they create the illusion and they distract the common man, the common men and women into living a life which is not a good life. So when Dasharath was not sending Ram and Lakshman with Vishwamitra, that's when Vishwamitra told him that, Dasharath, have you heard about Ravan? Do you know who's Ravan? He is the brother of Kubera. Kubera is the god of gold and wealth and prosperity. And he is the son of sage Visharva. He is Ravan. And this Tadka and Marich and Subahu, they are one of his people, because Marich is the uncle of Ravan. They are all related with each other. And he is also deriving his strength from these demonic agents. So they need to go. Later on, it was Lord Shri Ram only who kills Ravan. So anyway, I was telling you guys how Vishwamitra imparts the knowledge to Lord Shri Ram and Lakshman on this mystical knowledge called Bala Ati Bala. What does Bala Ati Bala do? Basically, when you recite these mantras, they drive away tiredness, hunger, and thirst. And even when you are asleep and unaware of your surroundings, and there are monsters who are lurking around, they cannot do anything against you due to these hymns. None can be against you, and none can be equal in skill, and no one can trouble you in the entire universe if you rehearse or you recite these hymns. You are the most eligible one to receive them also, because everybody cannot get this knowledge. Everybody is not suitable for this knowledge. People can misuse this knowledge. One has to be a very pure-hearted person, a very selfless person. Only then the masters give this particular knowledge, or these hymns are taught after that. And so these hymns not only protected them in the forest while they were living with Vishwamitra, but also later on in life. I'm sure they were able to use it because they had to live in the forest for 14 years when they were sent to exile, and I will come to that part very soon. So after this whole episode, Vishwamitra was very happy. The sages, the rishis, the munis were very happy. The whole forest lit up. All the plants, the animals, nature, human beings who were scared of these three were very happy, very relaxed. And Vishwamitra said to Shri Ram that you stay here, you spend some time with me, and I'll let you know when to go. And then the next chapter would be about Shri Ram's marriage to Sita ji, and we will get to know how that happens. We'll find out soon in which direction the story will go. So this is where I will take a pause, and I will see you soon in another one in the next part. One love, peace out, and Jai Shri Ram.